The CBS Mornings studio in the heart of Times Square gleamed under a canopy of crisp autumn light on this foggy October 4, 2025. The sleek news desk, a polished arc of walnut and glass bathed in the cool blue hue of LED screens displaying swirling weather maps and breaking headlines, the faint scent of fresh orchids from the green room mingling with the hum of high-tech monitors syncing for the live feed. Gayle King, the 70-year-old journalistic jewel with her signature bob haircut and a tailored sapphire blue blazer that echoed her poised elegance, anchored the desk with her trademark blend of warmth and worldly wisdom, flanked by Tony DeCopel, his sharp features framed by a crisp gray suit and a disarming smile, and Nate Burleson, exuding athletic ease in a navy Henley that nodded to his NFL roots. The live audience, a curated crowd of early birds, media insiders, and wellness warriors clutching branded mugs, buzzed with anticipation as the theme music swelled, the air electric with the promise of morning motivation laced with media might. Today's marquee moment was Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, making a promotional pivot to CBS for her Archwell Foundation's latest launch, Whispers of Wellness, a digital platform blending AI therapy tools with global women's stories of resilience, already trending on X for its timely tie into mental health amid midterm madness. At 44, Meghan glided onto the set with that effortless poise, her lithe frame draped in a flowing ivory silk blouse tucked into wide-leg cream trousers, evoking California calm with a subtle nod to New York edge, her caramel waves in loose layers, a delicate gold locket, engraved with Archie's initials, nestled at her throat as she exchanged air kisses with Gayle, their shared Oprah orbit lending a sisterly sheen to the embrace. The applause cascaded as she settled into the guest perch, the cameras framing her composed radiance, Tony kicking off with effusive energy. "Meghan, welcome, Whispers of Wellness, sounds like a game changer for busy bosses. How's it whispering wisdom from your own whirlwind?" She leaned in, voice a melodic cascade of candor, recounting a user story from a Tokyo exec using the app to navigate corporate isolation, her eyes sparkling as she quipped about Lilibets, accidental therapy sessions, with stuffed animals, drawing hearty laughs that rippled through the rows, Nate nodding with a, "That's real talk." But Gayle, her gaze honed from decades of disarming despots and divas alike, sipped her coffee with a subtle smile, fingers tracing the rim as she absorbed the flow, the faint lines of experience etching her face like footnotes to fierce interviews. As the segment segued to self-care in the spotlight, Gayle pivoted with her velvet over steel timbre, leaning forward with that disarming Oprah-esque intimacy. "Whispers are wise, Meghan, and your platform's a beacon. But after sparse spotlight on silence, suicidal shadows, skin-tone suspicions, do those whispers ever echo the full frequency, or are we still tuning into the top notes?" The nudge landed nuanced, the crowd leaning in with a soft murmur, Meghan's locket glinting as she twisted it thoughtfully, replying with diplomatic depth, "Gayle, full frequency's the fight, whispers tunes into the tremors, like the racial resonances we revealed. It's not top notes, it's the whole symphony." The studio's serenity held, but Gayle's follow-up lingered, her eyes locking with a flicker of familiarity forged fire, the air subtly thickening with the undercurrent of shared spotlights, Oprah's oracle versus Meghan's monarchy maze. Producers in the booth tracked the viewer surge, sensing the shift from soothing to searching. This wasn't mere morning motivation, it was a masterfully masked mirror wear. King's kindred candor met Markle's meticulous metal, the initial intimacy intimating the ignition that would inflame the interval into infamy. As the broadcast's backbone braced for the break, the CBS Mornings set's soothing synergy began to simmer with a sharper scent, Gayle King gesturing with graceful gravitas, her sapphire sleeves shifting like sails in a subtle squall, while Meghan Markle perched with poised persistence, ivory attire a tranquil testament against the tightening tension. Nate Burleson bridged with a nod to the platform's tech. "Meghan, that AI whisperer, mind-blowing. How's it adapting to everyday chaos, like my game day jitters?" Meghan seized the thread, tone tender as she detailed voice-activated affirmations drawn from her own anxiety archives, her vulnerability velvety as it veiled soft sighs from the seats, Tony's, "That's next level," hanging harmonious. But Gayle, her MSNBC marrow mingling with Oprah's oracle, eased a tablet into the tableau, its interface illuminating X critiques carving spare as, "Selective serenity, adapting, admirable, but whispers have wavelengths. Your wellness wave washes over royal rubble, frostbite fables, family fissures in spare." Admirers adore the advocate, but analysts argue it's amplified angst. With Harry's homeland halls for Invictus, is whispers wholly healing, or half-whispering the harmonies you harmonized away? The wavelength warped wickedly, the gallery's hum honing into hushed heat, a smattering of oohs from the wings weaving with wary whispers as Meghan's locket lay still, her voice veiling velvet to velveteen, "Half. Gayle, the half was the hidden, hiding my mental maelstrom, hedging on my heritage's hue. Whispers wavelengths the wounded, not the wandered. King's head tilted, her laugh luminous but laced. Wounded, wise, but your wavelengths lap luxury. Netflix narratives, memoir millions, now mindfulness modules. I micked mamas in Memphis without a media megaphone. Your megaphone's massive, but murmurs mount it's mightier for the melee it markets. The marketeer's murmur morphed into a murmur of murmurs. Tony's, let's lean in, lost in the lilt as Meghan's throat warmed under the locket, posture perking like a pulse quickening. Markets. You market the malaise, marshalling the media that mauled Diana to dust, mauled me to margins. Your Memphis minimizes the monarchy's malice. I'm whispering solidarity for shadowed sisters, not shadowing sales. The seats splintered, Snickers sinking with sympathetic shifts. Nate's nod neutral as Gayle advanced, undaunted, her timbre thickening. Solidarity. Or spotlight slight, shading the siblings while soothing subscribers. That's the wavelength some wave as two-tone timbre. Meghan's hand hovered, locket luminous like a lodestar, two-toned. The tones are the traps, hosts harmonizing with the hounds that hounded us. This isn't wellness, it's a whispered wound. Gasps gilded the gallery, the set's serenity shredding as X blazed in the booth with hashtag Meghan vs Gayle alerts from angled apps, memes of King's tablet as truth talisman, tangling with Meghan's locket as Duchess damper. The tilt wasn't tame, it was a tempest of King's kindred Ken testing Meghan's tempered tenacity, every ellipsis an ember edging the exchange toward the eruption that would exhale the episode into explosive eternity. The desk's denouement detonated like a dawn dispatch gone dark, the CBS clock crowning 8:58 a.m. as Gayle King crested with commanding clarity, her sapphire silhouette swelling with the swell of seasoned scrutiny, voice vaulting velvet to verity. Wound. Perhaps, but wounds without the wider walk widen the whisper. I've walked war-torn wards sans the world's watch, your whispers wave from wellness webinars. CBS Mornings mirrors mending, not mired. In monarchy malaise. You're done here, no more Duchess decibels drowning the dawn. Meghan materialized her medal, mounting with MIDI momentum, mic unmasked with a misty manifesto. Done. Your dawn's dimmed by derision, deriding despair for demographics. Viewers, venture voices that validate, not vanquish. The gallery geysered into Gayle force glee and grief, a whirlwind of Gayle's gospel. And, Meghan, march on, gizmos a gauntlet of grabbed glares as she glided toward the glow's gulf, strides a stanza of sovereignty, her sapphire stare scorching the sphere. Mornings. More vipers veil. Good morning. Glean grace, not grudge. Tony, torn in the tumult, tried a tether. Meghan, hold the harmony, but Gayle, unyielding in the uproar, unleashed the ultimatum. Grudge. Guards, guide her out. CBS's no-co for curated cries, weave clarity without the clamor. The decree drew Dorman from the dim, the din detonating in decibels of devotion and disdain. Nate's, whoa, let's, lacerated in the laceration as the cut commandeered to carefree clips of calming coffees and coastal cruises. Upheaval unfurled unbound. X appended with hashtag Gayle kicks Meghan hurtling to heavenly heights, hijacked highlights harvesting hectadens by high noon, memes of King's tablet as truth talisman, tangling with Meghan's locket as Duchess damper. CBS's cables crackled under ire influxes, Archwell's auras ascending in alliance avalanches, Meghan's midday mosaic, a misty Montecito murmur, captioned, whispers withstand, winning worlds. King, keystone in the kerfuffle, kibitz to the quiet, mornings mend, mavens, truth's the tonic, her exhale, at Meghan Markle, encore. No hard horizons, heralding heresy hives from host harmonies to ducal devotees. Tabloids from TMZ to the Post pulverize the pandemonium, Duchess derailed, King's keen cut, dissecting the kick, in kinetic keyframes, Harry's horizon hymn a hushed, my unyielding, palace prattle preening at, Sussex sunrises. Yet yonder the yowl, a yearning yarn yielded. This wasn't network nonsense but a nexus of newswoman's nudge on nobility's narrative, King's kindred Ken keeling Meghan's hallowed hold in a hurricane of media motifs, motive masked by melee, metal mauled for metrics. Sponsors like Serenity Solutions spiked, Mornings muster mounting, but the twinge throbbed, a throbbing thesis on talk's tangle, kicking not the crescendo but the coda's critique. As Times Square's ticker teased twilight, the melee minted a missive. In the circle of candid cleavages, ejections exalt the ejected, Meghan's majestic modulation a manifesto over mauling, mustering a media mad multitude to muse mercy over the merciless maw of mockery in the menagerie of modern media myths.